Mike McRobert, father of the groom, Anita McRobert, mother of the groom. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. This restaurant, Cafe des Amis in Guion, is a great friend. We've spent a lot of time here, and a special place for us, and I think it was a special place for tonight's event. It's thus far has just been spectacular. We're all fortunate and blessed tonight to be here with, have all three children here, Jennifer and Scott, who were just married November 7th of 2020, Ann and TJ, and our first grandson, James Wiley, JW, who's being babysat as we speak by Scott's mother and father. My dad and Marie were in my Who's Here speech, but we just put Dad in the car and sent him home. He's 88 plus and wears down. Grandma Boo's here tonight. Chris and Susie Lister, Anita's brother and sister-in-law. They've got this coming up in June. Tim Wise is doing the duty taking Dad and Marie home, which leads me into who's not here this evening. My sister Sally passed away August 30th of 2019. What's that? Oh, and Uncle Paul and Aunt Linda, my mother's brother and sister are here tonight. I'm brother and sister-in-law. But my sister passed away in August. Tim's my brother-in-law and did a spectacular job of taking care of her to her illness. My mother, Pat McRobert, is not here this evening, passed in 2008, but and with regard to Jeffrey, there was nobody on the face of the earth more special to her than Jeff. And also not here tonight, still with us, but not able to be here tonight, Anita's parents, Glenn and Georgiana Lister, and Susie Lister did a spectacular job of FaceTiming the wedding, and Grandma George got to lay in her bed and watch the wedding and was excited about it. I'm limited to 4 to 6 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep going here. Jeff was our first. Anita and I struggled to get pregnant like some couples do. I felt like a piece of meat from time to time.
I know the feeling.
But I can tell you there's no child on the face of the earth that was wanted more than Jeffrey.
Woo! Jeffrey.
As a result of that, Jeff is a good person with a great heart, and he gets that solely from the Lister side of the family. You know, growing up, we were fortunate and blessed to run the kids through some outstanding education. Kindergarten, first grade, you know, Jeff refused to read. My mother was a school teacher, spent immeasurable amounts of time with all three of the children and reading, and all three of them are prolific readers. I myself am a technical reader. I think I did a good job, Alexia, keeping up with details, but I never read for pleasure, and my mother gave all three of the children that gift, and it's neat to say. Siblings sometimes can be a little funny. Anna asked me if I was going to tell a story last night. I chose to put it in tonight's speech.
Oh.
Jeff every once in a while had some issues, and his sisters were quick to rat him out. And maybe a potty mouth, and we get a phone call one day from Oak Hill Day School, and Jeff had said the F word. And nobody other than Anna had turned him in. And so here we are, I'm about to beat him. I guess this is on tape and the statutes run. And I'm sitting there and realize I'm going to have to do this, and Jeff realizes this is going to be painful. And I thought, I don't know why, but I just looked at Anna and I said, okay, Anna. I said, Jeff had said the F word, and Anna, you know, her head kind of jerked a little bit. Yes. I said, what F word did Jeff say? And Anna kind of, you know, didn't really want to say, I said, it's okay, you can say it once, but I just want to hear what F word Jeff said. She said, fart. and Anita's sitting 10 feet apart from me, and we both had to work real hard to not bust out laughing. And I looked at Jeff and I said, okay, if you promise you're never going to do that again, I'm going to let you off this time. So I did. Dad's not here to hear me say this. Maybe he'll get to see the video, but he helped provide outstanding opportunities for the kids educationally. I make no bones about it. They were run through Kansas City's finest schools through high school. Anita, one of the quiz questions last night, Jeff wanted to go to Pembroke, and I said I wasn't sure your Pembroke material, being the asshole father that I was. Am I allowed to put that on tape? And so they ran him through the tests, and he scored 85% in math, and most people think 85% is good. 85% of Pembroke doesn't even get you in the door. But they go, this kid scored 100%, didn't miss a question on the reading comprehension, and they were stunned by that. They go, we see a lot of high reading scores, math scores, but we rarely see reading scores like that. So he's sneaky bright. Kind of like in kindergarten when he refused to learn to read because he didn't like the teacher. Just as soon as he got the teacher he liked, he went to reading prolifically. He's got it when he wants to bring it, and it's been fun. I said here, Jeff has always done, what he wanted, or was always able to do what he wanted to do. And one of the things that Jeff brings to the table is an outstanding sense of family. We as a family have been blessed and had a lot of family opportunities with friends and family that we've enjoyed over the years. Katie enters the picture. Katie's been a joy to get to know. Katie has a great sense of family. I mean, I watched her before Grandma George headed to the care center. I mean, she traveled with Jeff up to Memphis, Missouri, Northeast Missouri, and spent time with Georgiana, talked to Georgiana, told her she loved her. I mean, it's an incredible sense of family that she has, and the Qualls family, has got to be immensely proud of her. It's also fun to watch. Katie's immensely protective of Jeff, which is fun. I've been married 38 plus years, and Anita's not protective of me. I spend most of my time under the bus with Anita. But anyway, Katie's love for Jeff is fun to watch. It's been fun to watch this relationship bloom. Katie's sense of family history, asking questions, learning. And one of the most interesting things that I pointed out to Anita, I said, you better pay attention to this, and you better get this done. But one of the things Katie asked Anita to do that I thought was incredibly unique was she wanted to get with Anita, and she wanted to create the Anita cookbook. As Jeff talked about, Anita has fed multitudes of people. I'm real good about dragging people home and saying we're going to eat. I think I also help a little bit, but Anita's got recipe after recipe that she's done that she's famous for. And Katie on her own, probably after listening to Jeff a little bit, but Katie on her own, came to Anita and said, I want to sit down and I want to get some of these recipes. I want to have these to carry forward in our relationship. And that to me just speaks incredibly towards Katie. And Katie and Jeff, here we are tonight. To me, it's obvious Katie and Jeff worship each other. It's fun and refreshing to see in today's world. As I bring this to a close, I wore my children out with trite, cliche, redundant sayings. Is that the fair statement, Lexi? You've heard it once, you've heard it 17, 18 times. Yeah, and as kids with education, I wore them out and I said education equals opportunity and opportunity equals choice, and they can all repeat that because I believe that strongly. And then the other thing I believe, because I had a football coach 3/4 up my backside with it, was luck is where preparation meets opportunity. And as you all move forward in life, I would say to you, prepare and plan daily towards an outstanding marriage, and you will be very lucky in those endeavors. So to Jeff and Katie.
Next, right? So as you can tell, Mike's done a great job because this is his third one, so he's pretty sharp with this. So anyways, I may stumble and bumble here a little bit, but I got a lot to say. And I'll be honest with you, it was real easy. Just kind of let you know where I've been for the last about 4 weeks. It's almost like getting up every morning about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I could get up out of a dead sleep, and I'm thinking, what am I going to say? Right? And then the next day I'll say, what am I going to say? So I want to go this way, I want to go that way. And so anyways, I put it all together. But honestly, thinking about Katie, it's awesome. It's really been good because as you get older, some of you may know that, it's harder to remember. And so anyway, so Katie's life is pretty much of a blur at sometimes. But anyways, we were really proud of her. Really proud of where she's at, what she's done, and things like that, and obviously her mother and I. And if you don't know the people, I'm not going to spend my speech introducing everybody, so you got to get around and know everybody. Okay? If you don't know them, raise your hand, all that stuff. Okay. So, anyways, let's start off with Katie. Let's start about the birth of Katie. All right. It was a special event because we got to the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And then Katie waited 12 hours to come because she knew people from Indiana were coming. And she instinctively knew this. And so she waited. She made us wait all day long before she finally arrived. But we had a big procession at the hospital, and it was a huge event. It was our first child, and we were so proud. But I'd say from the age, Katie, from about the age of 3 to 30, it's about the same, really, if you think about it. At 3, she's exactly pretty much about like she is today. Okay? She's been the responsible one. She's been the motherly one. As soon as Will came in, it's just like she's immediately started taking care of him, helping mom and things like that. So it was funny. But that kind of led to, we always call her, I don't know if you remember Miss calling, but we called you Miss Independent, okay? Because Katie, and Jeff, you may know this a little bit, but she works on her own. She really don't need you a whole lot, but she's glad to have you around, okay? And you'll understand that, but just to kind of give you kind of where we're at, all right? So we started out with Katie. She started 7th grade. I don't remember how old you were, and I don't remember what year it was. But we were in Las Vegas, and we had to get back to Tennessee because we were moving back home, and Katie wasn't about to start school late. She was going into junior high, and she made it plain clear that she needed to come. So she actually flew out here by herself, started school in a brand new place with my helping my sister. Where's Debbie at?
Right here.
Oh, she's in there.
It's really neat.
So she took care of her. Chelsea helped out, and of course she stayed with my mom. So that was kind of the start of the road, and then she finishes high school, she's in college, and all of a sudden she moves to Memphis. All places, okay? Now, think about this. We already dealt with, we're a tight-knit family. We don't go anywhere, we're close. Well, she decides to go to Memphis all of a sudden, and no offense to the Memphis ladies, but man, that's not a great place to send somebody, right? If you've ever been there, there's some rough places there, okay? So she goes to Memphis, stays by herself, goes from there to Arizona, Chandler, Arizona, after pharmacy school, by herself. And then she ends up in Missouri by herself. I mean, there's a trend there, right, Jeff? So, do you have any idea how lucky you are that she's invited you into her life? She's basically said, I don't need anybody. And what was really funny about that is, and I was going to get this later, but I'll tell it now, because her first year in Memphis, she had a roommate, but that only lasted 3 months, 6 months? She decided, I don't need to live with anybody. So guess what? You're the first person going to be living with her since that roommate, and I hope you do a better job there.
We hope you make it longer than 3 months.
So anyways, she's a very independent woman. And we just didn't need to do anything. She was on cruise control. She just had it all figured out. And so that was awesome. And I wanted to talk about kind of 3 traits of Katie. And you may know this, and you may not know it. And so I'll do that and give you kind of an example. But the first one is if you say something to Katie, if you tell her something, you better do it. If not, she's going to hold you to it, all right? So if you say it, you better come through with it, or you're going to call them out on it, right? And I will give you a little story about that, just a simple little story. Her mother, once upon a time, told her that they were going to hang out. She was coming home, hang out, and go to the movies or something like that. Well, we ended up going out with our friends. Remember Paul and Lacey? And she got the phone crying, and you promised, you said. And from that point on, I think Teresa got the message that if you tell me to do something, you better come through with it. The second thing is you better have a plan, and you better follow the plan, right? And if you guys noticed anything with this wedding or anything that's gone through, man, she's planned it to the T. She just doesn't miss any details whatsoever.
Was there an itinerary?
Yes.
Yes. With times and everything. And one of the
Military time.
and one of the stories I like to tell on this was when we were in Chicago on a family vacation, we kind of bumped off the itinerary just a little bit. And Katie lost it over by the Bean in Chicago, if you've ever been there, because she thought Julia was going to get kidnapped because we were on the wrong side of town at the wrong time of day. So anyways, we learned to, if we're going to tell Katie, number one, we're going to do it, and then if we got a plan, we're going to stay to the plan. And I'll give Teresa all the credit for setting her up with those plans, because that's not me. I like to go off the plan. But the last thing, last trait I want to talk about is, and if you guys know Katie for any amount of time, she works hard and she gets results.
Amen.
And she gets that from her grandfather Bill here, my mom Eileen, and of course Teresa. They are the hardest working people out there, and she learned it, and I'm really proud of that. But I'll just tell you how committed she was to the work, because when she was a senior in high school, I believe it was a senior, right? In her grades, we were really pumping her up. We wanted to get her first, second, third spot, you know. Well, she didn't quite make that, and we suggested once upon a time that she might have to quit that job. She turned around in the middle of the living room and told me, "I can't quit, I'm saving lives." And she was nothing more than a pill counter at that point. So she felt like she really had to do something there. And then I kind of wrote this slogan down because I really think this fits you, Katie. There's and you guys may have heard it before, but there's people that watch it happen. There are people that wonder what happened, and then there's people that make it happen, and you're the one that makes it happen. And the final thing on that side, before I get to some other things, I still got some time, don't I, Mike? Okay. Anyways,
you're in charge. Don't be
the one person I did want to call out, a very special friend of Katie's, was not able to be here tonight. Under circumstances, just couldn't make it. But this person has been with you thick and thin through the good times and the bad times, through the rough times. Always been there. Katie just wouldn't be the same person without. And who I'm talking about is Ella, her cat. Since 2013, Ella has been the one that's went to Memphis, or came to Memphis, who went to Arizona, and who's come back. And one of the striking features when I first met Jeff was that Ella had taken to Jeff like nobody's business. And I knew he got in. What's that?
I was surprised by that also.
Yeah, I was too, but because she really don't like anybody. But man, Jeff was the first thing. I don't know. Jeff kind of had her trained a little bit. I was wondering what he'd done to her mesmerized. But I mean, I don't know if there are extra cat treats there or whatever. But anyways, I just want to say, just from our family's perspective, Teresa just thinks the world of you, Jeff. And from her side of it, you know, she texts you all the time, right? And and she's so proud of Katie and you and you know, getting together and stuff like that. We've been really waiting for this day to happen, and she really does that. Of course, Will and Julia, now they have a big brother. They've never had a brother. Will's always wanted a brother because Julia gets on her nerves. Julia. There you are.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's going to be some responsibility coming in with big brother status now. I don't know what that means, but I don't know if it means any more trips to Vegas, okay? I don't know if that's in there or not, okay? So anyways, I just want to, as far as our family's concerned, as far as the Qualls family and the Coomer family sides, if you've ever, I can't think of a movie, somebody can help me with a movie buff, but it may not even be a movie, but it's just like a you ever seen some highfalutin person? It could be Mike, really. You go into a place and everybody knows who Mike is and stuff like that, and then he drags somebody like me in with him, and they say, "Oh, he can't come in." And Mike says, "No, he's with me," and so then I get to come in. So Jeff, you're with Katie now, so come on in. Come on in. You're welcome. Okay. We got your back like nobody else. All right. So anyways, I want to welcome Jeff and tell everybody my first impressions of Jeff. Mike alluded to how Katie came in and dazzled. I'm not so sure it was dazzling at the Texas Roadhouse that night, because the first thing we found out was Jeff likes to eat, but not in those chain restaurants, and that's where we took him. But he was cordial enough. I don't even remember what you had to eat, but I do remember that the conversation was a little bit, you didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to say. We were at the Roadhouse, splitting nuts and all that stuff. So, anyways, as you come into the family, as you know, and I really, as I was thinking about the next point I really want to make, I was really thinking about the Kansas City folks here, because there's going to be times where Katie is right, but never wrong, okay? And there's going to be times that you'll never win. And the only way that I can get you guys to really understand that is, it's like Kansas City Chiefs playing Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They just don't win. I'm sorry. They're not going to win, okay? I'm sorry about that. So anyways, I apologize about that. But Jeff, yeah, we've got your back in our family, and we're really super glad that you're here. We're glad that this day's happened. But I've got to, if I don't do anything, I've got to preach just a little bit, and it won't be long. Okay, don't worry about it. I'm not taking an offering or anything like that. But I did really think about. I really did think about this, and if you guys want to look it up, it's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. They call that the love chapter, and I really believe if you guys can fashion your life according to this, if we all could, we'd all be a whole lot better people. But the first part of that says love is patient, and when I think of that, I think of Katie. You're gonna have to be patient with Jeff. Come on, you hadn't have anybody live with you for a long, long time, and you know how sometimes he could scratch the floor or something like that. So you're gonna have to be patient. And the next one is love is kind, and I can't think of any other person. Well, you are the kindest man. I mean, when you came to our house in Tennessee, the things I watch you a lot. I had to watch you before you got married, right? But you are a very kind person, Jeff, and you really are genuine. It's not fake or anything like that, and you can't fake that kind of stuff. And I've seen it, and when I think about that, love is kind, and I really believe that it relates to you. It says love is never jealous or envious, and I'll tell you that you two have hit the lottery. You've hit being together, you've hit the lottery. There's nothing ever to be jealous about or envious with anybody, because you guys got each other. So I think that's pretty cool. And so you both win. Love never loses its faith. It's always hopeful. And it endures through every circumstance. Everything. So you guys are going to go through some things through life. I mean, Lord knows Teresa's been with me for 35 years. She knows we've been through some stuff. You guys are going through some, but the love thing is the bottom line. You start that out, you'll never feel like that. So anyways, I always turn to love, and that is the preaching that I'll do right there. And just remember I said that. But and kind of in closing, we just can't thank the McRobert family enough. And I won't say McRoberts, okay? Because I know that ticks you off. So we thought about it was an S for a long time. But man, we cannot thank the S on the Robert. I'm sure that's... But listen, you guys have been tremendous. Your family has taken Katie in. You guys, from you guys to everybody, it's just been so nice, so cordial. I mean, I've never been through a weekend like this. honestly. And you guys have just done a great job and just hosted us like crazy, giving me a hard time, which I like. But from me and Teresa and from all of our family.
Susie's going to call me the next time she needs a rental car.
Oh, I meant to tell you, she needs a ride to the airport in the morning. But anyways, again, I just...
That's right, she's going to turn it into Crown Center.
She's gonna need some help. But I just can't tell you enough about how we're so glad that these two families have meshed. We're so proud of you guys, completely, and we're just looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to what we're gonna do to the memories and everything that we're gonna create together. So I don't have a glass in my hand, but everybody wants. Here's to you, Katie and Jeff. We love you.